All right, so I have a review for the anime film, the Jujutsu Kaisen Execution. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution there is the latest film in the from the anime of Jujutsu Kaisen there. This released a while ago there. I'm just now getting to it. So this will be a kind of a quick review there. And for people who are fans of this there, please forgive me if I don't remember a lot of stuff kind of went on here. It's been a minute since I've seen this movie there, but a lot of it, what it's doing with this movie, it's not like something like that hasn't been adapted before. This basically is condensing a lot of story from season two with the whole Shibuya arc there, with a lot of the demons taking over the area and basically planning a full out assault on it, and killing a bunch of civilians there. So they try to, and that consisted of what, like 20 episodes or about?
I think it was 18. I want to say, yeah, I think 18 episodes. But the other, and I mean, it really is a recap.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't see it myself, I've talked to people that did, and it seems like it's a recap to the point of, if you haven't seen those episodes in season two already, you wouldn't really be able to figure out what's going on. Like, it's jumping between so many things and going through it so quickly and skipping chunks, and it really is it is a recap in like the truest sense. Like, this is not a good alternative to just actually watching those 18 episodes.
And this is an hour and 28 minutes, so it's very short. So it tries to condense all that story of those episodes into this hour and 28 minutes. And then also it tries to tag on, like, so another big thing about this is for season three, that has like early episodes for season three, like the first like one or two episodes of season
Yeah, I
three,
think it's the first two.
the first two of that. So that's also a big thing. So the first half of the movie, I would say, like, if I remember correctly, about maybe like 40 or so minutes is basically the recap. And then the rest of the runtime is the last episodes, the first two episodes of season three there. Which season three is coming out in a few days. They're doing
Yep.
premiering that. I would say you probably just, I mean, people have already seen it or not seen it already, so people have already made the decision. But I mean, I was in the theater, people were fans who seemed like they were fans because they were dressed up like the characters from it and everything like that. They had the makeup and everything of the characters and everything. And it seemed like they were kind of disappointed, at least from
Yeah.
the chatter I was kind of hearing, of people going like, oh, that kind of seemed like kind of a waste of time to sit through all this, to do this recap, and then to do like these additional two episodes. So if I had to review this sooner, I would have said like, well, it seems like if you are a fan and you really did love Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe it'd be, if you're that hyped to see the the first two episodes of season three, then maybe this would be for you. But I think other than that, not really. I think it's pretty disappointing as far as that. Even as someone who's seen season two, coming into it, I didn't really remember much about season two, but it did give me like, oh, a refresher, like, oh, okay, this is what happened again. It made me remember a lot of it and jog my memory. So it wasn't really that exciting seeing the stuff again, really. It's not like other anime movies we had come out last year, like Demon Slayer, where that's a movie and that's part of a whole thing to conclude that story. So that's something brand new. And then not like Chainsaw Man, which that's also an adaptation that's brand new, that hasn't been adapted before. So you have that kind of going for it. So this doesn't have the same thing kind of going for it there with that. I will say the when they do the newer episodes there, when they do that, that is impressive, and a lot of the action scenes there, that is very good and very impressive as
I
well.
noticed in the little bits that I have seen of the animation, it feels, because Mappa does Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen,
Mhm.
and in the little clips I've seen in like the preview footage, it does seem like that Chainsaw Man movie's kind of different, updated animation style might be a little closer to what JJK season three has as well, and that also has like a kind of updated animation style. Because in the bits I've seen, it seems like it's maybe a little looser, maybe slightly less like highly detailed in like character models, but then that is allowing it to be much wilder in its action sequences.
Mm, yeah. People, I think that got shown on Twitter, like the dude, like waving his hand through his hair there, and he's like beating the shit out of dude with one hand and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that kind of went viral for a little bit. Um, But yeah, I mean, so if like I said, if you're already a kind of a fan of that and you just weren't able to see it, but you were going to see it if you could, really there.
Yeah, I mean, and that would have just been for the 2 new episodes. Like, I don't care about the recap part as much. I think the problem is that it's too big a set of episodes to do a recap with. Like when season 3 of Attack on Titan was coming out back in 2018 or 2019 or exactly when that was. They they had a recap movie of season 2 and that had the first episode of season 3 attached to the end of it. That recap worked well though because season 2 of Attack on Titan is 12 episodes long, so a 2.5 hour like recap movie isn't actually cutting things out, and you're getting, even though it's maybe cutting out a couple little things, you're getting a coherent narrative presented to you in a whole. Even if you've already seen it, it is coherent and it feels complete. I think the problem here, and this is just me going based off of what you're saying, is you can't take something that's 18 episodes long and condense it into an hour and 20-minute movie. It's literally going to become an incoherent mess. You can't do that. It's just too much stuff to squish together into that. There earlier in 2025 in the summer, they did a recap movie of the first arc of season 2, the hidden inventory, when it's the flashback to Gojo and Geto when they're younger and they're in high school and they've got to protect the girl, right? That's supposed to be like the vessel. And that arc is only 5 episodes. So a movie recap of that works really, really well because you don't have to cut anything out. You just get to watch all of that flow as one continuous thing without like credits and cuts at the beginning as it ends, right? So that works really well as a sort of recap movie. This seems like it just doesn't work because of the sheer length of it. That seems to be the biggest problem.
Mm, yeah, it's sloppy and kind of like you said, it's too much of a mess.
Yeah.
Them trying to do all this together there, and like it's not they don't even really utilize all the hour because like I said, the other part of it is the 2 episodes. So really, it's like you got like 40 minutes
Right.
to try to do all these episodes really, and so that's it. Just kind of comes off as incoherent and kind of sloppy and kind of all over the place. And even somebody who has seen the season 2 is kind of like, okay, I mean, this doesn't really do much for me here.
And imagine going to see that if as someone who's like, well, I watched season 1 and I saw the movie. I haven't seen season 2, so there's a recap. Oh well, I guess I'll be okay to go see this then. And then just being lost and having no clue what's going on.
Yeah, it feels like a fever dream. You close your eyes, you wake up, you're in a whole other different part of something. Close your eyes, wake up again. It's like a whole other different area. It's like what the hell's going on here? But it's yeah, recapping that, and then it seems like with season 3, what they do is like they're setting up like so. There's going to be like a trials that's going to go on like a tournament or something. So they're going to have like a tournament arc. What is the name of that again? It's eh,
The Culling Games is the new one.
Calling games. Okay,
Yeah.
and you've already read that in the manga, right?
Well, yeah, I kind of know what's going on already here. I couldn't tell you all the details of it, but like I
Because
said,
they
like, what's that?
oh, I said they kind of flash. They do this quick as hell too. And there's a lot of text. They go like boom on the screen, boom on. I'm like, damn. Let me like they don't even give a good minute to at least read all the text of the rules and everything like that. I was like, okay,
Yeah, well, like I was saying, my friend Cal is like a super fan of JJK. That's like it's like his favorite anime, and he has said to me, "Hey, this next part here, it's kind of the worst part because there's just so many rules and they spend so much time explaining them." Now it sounds like they were speeding through it in the show, but like in the manga, it's like panels and panels and panels of them just explaining how the rules of this thing work, and it's a little like, all right, now you get past that and into the actual thing. So like what 2 or 3 episodes in, I think that'll be fine once you get past that. But to get like as it's getting started, it does feel like it's like grind to a halt and do all of this, and then so I think that'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes over as in like the context of the whole thing. But it's definitely like it's a weird bit of pacing, especially because the Shibuya incident, which is the season 2 arc name. That's such a mile a minute. So much is happening. And then for the very next arc to kind of grind to a halt and then have to explain all this stuff, that's a bit messy.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, we are going to review season 3. We are going to do that. So we're going to do that. It'd be interesting to see how they work that out in the show. Like I said, there's supposed to be all these rules and everything like that, and so it'd be interesting how they handle that. Um, but yeah, I mean, this movie, I mean, it seems like I don't know if you've heard anything different. It seems like if you are a JJK fan, they're even kind of disappointed by this and think it's not worth checking out, not worth really seeing, really all that much.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's kind of the general consensus I've heard is that it's just like it literally was just a kind of advertisement. Like it didn't feel as much like its own thing. Um, which again, I think it's the length of the story arc. I think it was just impossible to do something that tightened that into this brief thing. It's just not. It's literally not possible. I mean, you had, like you said, 40 minutes roughly to do that, and then 40 minutes to do the two new ones. I mean, since something that's 18 episodes long, that's 2 episodes worth of time. Like, it just seems impossible. So it's like if you're a super fan that just has to see a clip compilation in the theater, that's about what it's doing. I
yeah.
mean, and it really is literally what it is.
Yeah. So it's probably already online now, and people can watch it if you are interested, probably. So that I guess stream it for those people who are. But I mean, if you've already seen season 2 and season 3 is around the corner, then you really don't need to see this. So it's pretty much I think I'd give it a skip it for that. Just skip it for JJK execution.
I
Yeah.
think that makes sense. And I mean, it's like I said, it's not even really like the show being bad. It's just like, well, you already got this, and I'm about to get the new part of this. So like, what's really? I don't know. It's just a fancy advertisement.
Mm, yeah. So those are my thoughts. JJK execution, Jujutsu Kaisen.